Moon Queen Deadwood coming out for Complexity. Ophelia Tundra from Lion. The only similarity is that Ophelia, and look at the first 3 locks right away, kind of answering that. Well, it was very jungle-heavy blind bands last game. This game, not nearly as much, and as a result, we do got Keeper, followed up by the Tempest Parasite. So, but yeah, showing some respect to Moomiander's Tundra right there is Lion Esports Club again, understandably. He does play very well, and he is just one of those very annoying heroes to play against. If you are a team that likes to move around, set up those ganks, the Shiver is just, it speaks for itself, obviously. It's basically a free-moving ward of sight, if especially if played well. And again, Moomiander definitely knows how to play it well, so. Blind manning him there. Pebbles Pandemonium coming out there.
Yeah, that Pandemonium man, just B-Kid making a point that he thinks that hero is definitely at the top of the scene right now, choosing Lock It Up a lot and having a ton of success with it. I believe they were initially, weren't they defeated by it against QSQ first before they began to start picking it up? And remember I heard Moon say he thought it was ridiculous, and afterwards I saw Complexity beginning to draft it. So, yeah, Pandemonium kind of going crazy right now, at least for Complexity. The Keeper of the Forest and the Tempest matchup we'll have to see. Parasite locked on the board as well, which allows for a couple different interesting setups. I'm not really expecting to see Lions pick up something like that, Tempest plus Parasite. So, you know, it's something that Complexity drafts Keeper. Maybe they'll get the chance to, but I'm looking, and Super KG actually chose to lock Tempest and Parasite and lock them both. So I'm not sure if you would want to just give them one of the two junglers if they were running the Keeper of the Forest in more of like a solo side lane setup. So maybe he would draft them both. Yeah.
Engineer the final lock. You got the Rally, Master of Arms, Fade, Magnus so far. Bands coming out. The final couple of bands going to be happening here.
Yeah, in a sense it makes them choose too, because it's like if they want, you know, Panda, they're not going to be able to, they can't pick up the double jungle, but I think they're already planning on picking up Panda potentially in the first place, so.
Yeah. Shout out to Chuck right there, giving us a shout out in game, so. Chuck, of course, one of the head admins for
awesome.
On Tour and just events in general. He's an awesome guy, and does very hard work behind the scenes, especially. So, shout out to him. Back to this banning stage here again. One more ban on either side before we move along into the first pick. Going to be coming out for Complexity. There's a Wretched Hag ban by B-Kid. Now, Super KGE, again, going to think about his final ban. So, just again to clarify, if you are just tuning in, wondering about Lions roster, Hanskin, he is just on vacation right now, which, you know, it's unfortunate, of course. I mean, with so much on the line with the DreamHack trip, and it. Now, that does bring up an interesting point, and I think I know the answer, but just to be clear, if Lions was to defeat Complexity and then eventually defeat IG, I assume Hanskin would be going with Lions.
Yeah, for sure.
In place of FedEx for the win.
For sure.
So just to kind of clarify that. But FedEx doing his best to at least help his buddies out, I'm sure, and to give them that opportunity. So, again, just simply real life got in the way. Vacation, well, he's on vacation, so I'm sure he's having fun wherever he is. But
yeah, when we don't see a Master of Arms on the board, but Torture is available in the normal drafting pool, it's usually Complexity's go-to. I look at that Master of Arms, that Rally, or potentially that Torture, and Torture being the hero that's available. Meanwhile, we talked about Lions Esports, man. They responded with a quick double heal setup, so Ophelia not on the board, but Soul Reaper, who did get that buff in this patch, especially he was strong at the end of the old version. Lions was using him very effectively, and then he did get that buff to where he can actually store up those charges on his inhuman nature and choose to use them on himself or his allies. So pretty much no reason not to do that. Gives us a little bit more flexibility in terms of laning and unpredictability. So I did like that change, and they're trying to see how they're going to have to respond here. I mean, there is a lot of heal, and it's just about the sustainability in general. So if they go for more of that front load burst and just hoping they'll pierce it, if they're not able to get those kills, then they're sort of all done. So they need a good sustained damage source. Torture is one of those if he's played in that carry role. Seeing that Glacia's picked up here as a support would lend itself more towards that.
Well, you're talking sustained damage. Okay, well, Luna's going to be fine, but this is a complete theory. Wouldn't somebody like Thunderbringer be good for sustained damage then?
I don't know. I like Thunderbringer, but I'm looking at something like a Soul Reaper and all this heal, and I'm like imagining just all the heal that comes out between the nukes. And
I'm not saying it's a
no. I love the hero. You know I do. I just
it'd be fun.
Yeah, they kind of want to try to make these lanes work, and that's always been kind of Thunderbringer's one weakness. I do love the hero, but trying to fit him into the laning phase properly and assess his worth is a little bit difficult. So I'm trying to look. So they have the Soul Reaper and the DS. They don't really
need a curse.
Need a curse.
Throw him in there. No, I forget who ran this last time. I think it was AL actually. For some reason, that's screaming out of my mind. But they ran this style of line, very heel heavy with no really tank though. I think they built it around a torturer even. So, and I kind of wondered about that. Whenever I see these really, obviously you got Soul Reaper and DS already. Something like a Zephyr, an Armadon, a Kraken. You know.
We saw them play Monkey King even in the past. I mean, a lot. Remember we saw it was against Complexity actually that Lions played the Monkey King and they had that huge comeback. I think it was the game where we saw the Codex Courier.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
so that huge comeback. And you know there is a great lockdown force here with that Keeper of the Force and the Tempest being available. More than likely expecting Complexity to go more of that Keeper route still. And especially with Glacius and Aluna that lends itself. Yeah, they're not going for the Tempest as much so.
Well, they're using all the time here. I mean, it's coming down to about 5 seconds. They've already been here for a good. Okay, so there you go. See, that's where.
Yeah, going for the heal, and they're not going for like that Monkey. They have Zephyr available, so the triple heal coming out first, and you can definitely see the synergy there. Not a lot of like tricky initiation / movement though coming out from the Hellborn team right now. Like Zephyr isn't as aggressive of a hero, so their team is very passive. It's very reactive.
Oh yeah.
Parasite's the one factor they're trying to throw in there that changes that up a bit. And depending on how he's able to control the game, we saw right there they actually locked the Tempest and the Parasite, assuming Complexity wanted Keeper, and we were like, are they going to go Complexity? But and they do decide that that's the route they want. So not as much success with the Tempest solo last game. He did get a bit crushed by the bubbles, but that was partially due to the early on kill and how the matchup was played. And they are looking for more of that farm-worthy hero here. Pandemonium, again, would not be a big shock to me, I think. But they have a lot of physical armor. You don't really want the physical armor when you're going up against a DS, so maybe something like that, Pebbles. But then you look at, magic armor being built up, and they actually have a kind of a decent response to what Complexity is trying to put out. They do decide, the DS is just too much. We're not doing it. Go for the Pebbles. Go for that Snowball Burst, and we'll make it work from there. And Torture also being played in more of that carry role. So once again, very magic damage heavy, and Barrier Idol is normally in the cards for a hero like Soul Reaper anyway.
Also, keep an eye here for both sides. Players playing what heroes? Because right now, Moonmeander's on that Keeper of the Force. Lends you to believe that's going to be more of a laning Keeper, and Aluna is kind of a riser, so not going to see the jungling Keeper. But then also, sorry?
Well, no, I was going to say, because of the fact that they had the Aluna and the Glacius pick, that at the end they weren't going for the Tempest, that they were planning on being more aggressive like the last game. So, yeah, and also what were you going to say, Bricky?
Well, on Lion's side, too, we got a case, we brought this up kind of last game. FedEx for the win, their jungler playing the Tempest here, and Skyzo on the Parasite.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure if I saw the Tempest game actually a little bit. I was checking out their game to see what role FedEx was playing. I might have misspoke when I said he was playing Tempest in a game, and I'm not actually sure if he was their normal jungler. It would make sense if Skyzo was sort of fulfilling it, but yeah, either way, FedEx going to do that solo role. Tempest again, expecting to see a little bit of a better performance this game, as long as they don't get caught out early on again.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out, the idea of a double jungle strat. Is that is that possible here? Because that's...
When you have two aggressive roamers, something like that,
it would be very risky.
And Torture, I would say, yeah, it's a bit risky.
Very risky. Okay. That'd be cool. Just saying.
Yeah, I would
then who would be your suicide? You don't really have that strong. You're going to play down there either, so... Probably not. But hey, anything can happen, right? All right,
yeah,
so probably not. Okay, so
you can already see. Yeah, well, actually,
I mean, I'm looking at Tempest items too, and
he did. I mean,
that is.
We'll have to see. I mean, the Ring of Sorcery isn't. He has 3 mana potions. I mean, he is still set up for a potential laning build with one thing of regen, keeping the lane back and making it happen. I mean, I suppose it is an option, but I would see Zephyr just getting so punished if that was the case, because it's not like. You have insane enough roam to really compensate for it at that point.
We'll see.
And Seal Kid's playing the DS. He's not going to solo that. No.
Or they just give up the bottom lane. I'm just thinking radical here.
It's not that radical. I mean, we used to see teams do it sort of back in the day sometimes when they knew their line assignments would really suffer. It was because of that. The other team didn't have a jungler to sleeve and try to keep it open, see what the damage of giving one hero complete view farm would be and how powerful they are. But I have seen it work before. I don't think that's what they're aiming for.
Well, damn it, we have to send this pause, and the suspense has to kill us a little bit longer as far as what's going to happen. It looks like Lions the the team to throw out the pause here. But yeah, I personally am usually a fan of seeing these kind of lineups, to be honest, and these kind of heel heavy and surrounding the Zephyr. I know to an extent, some people consider that more of a cheesy style even, but I think it's definitely can be fun to watch, and it definitely promotes team play, and which is good to see too. So. As far as complexity is concerned, though, in the lineup that they put together, as it goes back to, again, just a kind of an aggressive nature team here, and expect them to promote some action here earlier on in this game. It looks like we are good to go, so I'm going to get a little more information here on exactly how the lanes are going to be shaped to set up when it comes down to it. You got DS actually running to the bottom lane with a side, of course, and okay, so
they were running that aggressive
yeah.
dragon with Pebbles. He did go hatch in a lot of stat items there with those totems. Actually, you don't really see a shield even sometimes if he is going in more of an aggressive lane. But knowing that they do have that jungler and Parasite, and the direct laning presence won't be that strong, he is safe with it. He actually still very well could go middle lane though. Let's see, they are.
Good manners there.
Tralf is definitely soloing this mid.
Okay.
At this point. Yeah, so they are going to go top.
All right, so we'll see how Zephyr is able to fare down here at the bottom lane. I mean, again, kind of running that aggressive pseudo trial lane, as we call it. You do got Keeper of the Forest currently down in this area, but is that something? I guess that is a matchup that they'd be looking. I mean, they are sending the Pebbles top with a Luna going up there, and of course Glacius also nearby.
Keeper of the Forest is fine no matter what lane he goes to.
Yeah,
they can provide a little bit of punishment, but he shouldn't be really killable.
Middle lane, of course, that means Soul Reaper gonna go middle and gonna be matched up against Tralfmador playing the Torture. Soul Reaper being played by Flensmeister here. Glacius is going now towards the top lane as soon as right after the horn blows there. So it's gonna start out in a 1v1, but obviously expect some movement to come around from either side here in terms of adjusting to the lane as it usually goes. So see Parasite going to go off into the jungle and start his trek over there. But Zephyr should be able to have a pretty good farm, at least if the lanes keep like this earlier on in the game, of course. So to try to fight for that lane positioning as well. Keep an eye to see how Super KGE progresses here. As usual with the Zephyr lineup, you build it around him, and it's a lot of. But at the same time, though, they do have the Soul Reaper, so who is in that farming role playing the middle lane even. But needs to be careful, but you look at this, the ward aside, it's going to be immediately countered, though. Well played by Complexity there. Having a good heads up.
Yeah, so the two-hero room definitely being effective. And look at, the snipe out onto the creeps there, onto the Tempest, man. That hurts. And, well, you mentioned the double jungle.
It's kind of happening.
Yeah, I mean, they decided just to say screw it to the safe lane in a case like this. Knowing that aggressive try was coming out after they scouted it. So the thing is, the double jungle doesn't work when. The reason I don't like it is you saw that, but I don't like it because it's so easy for a Luna to snipe him out in the woods. She's one of the best aggressive supports against a jungle hero across the board. So yeah, I don't like it. It was an option. I do not like it, though. I think denying the creep wave and sort of being sneaky up top would have been a better option, and denied Pebbles a little bit of farm, because I don't think he's going to get anything done here besides waste time.
No, I mean, you see right here, he's trying to deny his own creeps. So Luna's going to kill, though. And
he's actually helping a Luna jungle and level up, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wasn't sure how they were going to make that work, especially against the aggressive try. And, yeah, of course, Peter Pandem. He's always really... honestly, I just feel like he handles his support role. Or that's
Riser.
That is Riser, so, well...
Both great players, but yeah, but in this case, it happens to be Riser. I mean, I do agree with you. Peter Pandem usually seems like it's just so routine for him as far as knowing exactly where to be and what to do in that support role.
And his early game ward placements too are usually phenomenal.
But yeah, Riser, also a great player, and showing here he knows how to handle against a Tempest that is attempting to jungle. But as you said, it's almost as if Tempest is even helping a Luna slightly.
Yeah, she's giving a Luna something to do.
Yeah,
and actually feel active. You see right there the golden experience. The charts tell the story right there, man. Tempest cannot get anything done. And without that earlier farm, I mean, it is hard for him. You know, you sort of rely on that 300 gold per minute when you play Tempest. Everyone's used to playing at 300 gold per minute Tempest at level 6. You throw him down his back foot, and all of a sudden he's rocking 150. has to be a lot more careful with his positioning and what he's able to put out, then it changes the game.
Well, he's not a Pharaoh. He's not a Bubbles. He's not one of these heroes that is just so used to that, but it doesn't necessarily hinder him the most, and eventually, he does hit level 6 and it'll be useful. Tempest, he kind of needs a decent start. I mean, in the end, sure, getting that level 6, getting that element of void, but that only means so much if you have a lack of items, if you're just very squishy in the first place, and farm's not progressing too well from there. So, yeah, this is definitely a pretty big deal. I mean, we do see Lions trying to make some kind of adjustment. Parasite and Demented Shaman coming up here. Riser's in a lot of trouble. We could be seeing the Bloodlust Kill coming out. Catman Champion nuked. A couple more auto attacks, and Seal Kid on Demented Shaman will get credit for the Bloodlust. So, Lion Esports Club, they do eventually react to it, and they get a Bloodlust Kill out of it.
Yeah, honestly, the movement.
Oh, it's going to continue, actually?
Not really. It's just a little bit of rest. The movement from Demented Shaman, the movement from Parasite was absolutely crucial, and, well, it actually evened out the game. That Bloodlust Kill going in favor of Seal Kid. Not going to totally take over with it, but still, I mean, a little bit of merit now to what Tempest was trying to do now that the game has sort of taken even point. Actually, we see Pebbles here. He has to play a little bit safe when they are in the area, choosing to back off instead, though, and, seeing Skyzo use that Skeleton King to farm, but holy cow.
Moon's like, okay, I'll take this free courier kill. It was down here. I don't even think there's anything on it at that point. I mean, I guess he did just get the Beast Heart top on in the meantime. Tempest will eventually get taken out. As we were even talking about, Luna came back, and Pebbles and Luna able to set up the kill onto him. But I was watching that bottom action, and the courier was sitting there. Nature's Veil was applied to Keeper, and all of a sudden he just comes out, auto attacks it down, and the courier's dead. So another kind of a mishap there for Lion Esports Club, and something else that they'll just have to be frustrated by for now. In the meantime, so. Demented Shaman needs to be a little careful, as does Tempest. Aluna and Glacius are both up here with this Pebbles. They are very susceptible. Need to be careful with that top side.
Yeah, Hellborn definitely made a point that they're not going to sit there and let the Tempest get bullied. And he's getting some decent experience now. That ward placed by PPD, not able to see into the lane, so not having an entire clue when it comes to providing that aggressive tri-lane initiation. And we see right there, Tempest is like literally hanging back in the woods, wants nothing to do with it.
You just see Pebbles is kind of staring like, hello, don't mind me, I'm just saying hi from a distance. But yeah, Tempest. FedEx for the win is very aware that just something doesn't feel right here. So, middle matchup, very interesting matchup we got here. Torturer versus the Soul Reaper. Right now, it seems like it's pretty back and forth, honestly. 18-9 Soul Reaper, 20-9 Torturer. So, a pretty solid back and forth battle. I know Glacius has definitely been there a little bit, and even DS was there slightly in the pass-through, but for the most part, it has been a 1-versus-1 matchup there in the middle lane. And again, very, very even so far. You look at Zephyr at the bottom lane in the meantime. This is what he can definitely do if he doesn't feel too worried. So he's going to go in now. Keeper does have a root, and he doesn't also have support nearby. So if TPs could happen here, I mean.
Well, maybe, but I mean, Zephyr still has the Gust back. Remember, the TPs actually take 4 seconds now. Root itself only 2, so you have to cast maybe a half second after the TP started and hope they TP to the front and hope that Zephyr didn't Gust back. So a lot of risk coming into play and not really worth it for him. Just going to keep up the pressure instead.
Well, that's to the credit of Super KG at the same time. I mean, he just pushed all the way beyond the tower, farmed the creep wave. I mean, he felt very comfortable that he was able to do so, and he was able to. So you see he's going back in here. He has that Helm of the Black Legion finish, so a great start for him. In the meantime, though, Moon Meander also doing very well. In fact, he's up there with GPM of the Zephyr, very, very close to him. Already has his Ring of Sorcery and Boots finish now, so. The overall top farmer, though, does belong to B-Kid. 1,100 plus gold saved up with the Steam Boots he's already finished. Porco to the top end in the meantime. It is going to be Zephyr, actually. He'll kind of switch things up, and he'll just insist on now farming this top side. So, wants to take advantage of that short lane. We'll save now B-Kid. He eventually moves as well.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned before they sort of have a reactionary team. You got to see those vestments up as soon as possible on this Zephyr, and as soon as that happens, if they go and they're sort of diving a little bit too far, trying to get a pick off, that's when they can truly punish. And I'm also looking at the timer of something like ultimately those items, like that Astrolabe, like that Bear Idol eventually coming out, because I feel like if they get those and they're in decent standing, they're going to take every single team fight.
Very possible. I mean, again, Zephyr is having that good start that you always want out of a Zephyr on your team. In this case for Lion Esports Club. Tempest adjusting to the bottom lane, of course. He's just now going to start to pick up a little bit of experience and some farm himself. But the bottom tower being heavily pressured by Moon Meander. he knows with a good level advantage here, and he also does have a Pebbles roaming on over, so Tempest need to be careful. Look at Tempest, though, going all the way into the jungle. They did have a ward of sight down here, very possibly spotted Pebbles coming over.
It seems they're not even wasting any time.
Not even going to go for him. Instead, they're going to go for the tower. Will it be killed? I mean, they do have TPs on Paris side. That's it, though, so it probably is, yeah. Easy tower kill for Complexity. B-Kid actually getting credit for the tower kill right there in the end. And
take a look at B-Kid's farm. Complexity made sure that he got a sound farm in this game, edging right on that 9-minute portal key, as we often like to see. He might actually get it a little bit sooner here with this siege unit kill. Now it's still going to be... Oh, no, he got... Oh, he missed it.
Got that one,
it's
yeah.
the curse.
The hatchet missed. Didn't get it in the end. Tempest still here again, not level 6, so...
Oh, that's true. And with the Keeper Invis potentially coming out, I'm not seeing the mass ports. They don't have the biggest lockdown, even if he does. I mean, there's a chance, but Parasite's not even level 6 yet, man. Oh, they're going to try for it, though.
Stun's coming out on a Pebble. Sorry for running in. Does have the Demonic Execution. Get him there. There's a Demonic Execution used fairly early, but it still should be a kill. Oh, my God. Don't tell me that gusted him away to safety. Okay, he is going to be dead. Soul Reaper will get the final auto attack, so... The Demonic Execution a little early, perhaps, but in the end it does get the kill. All 5 players were ported in, though, to get that kill. The middle tower, in the meantime, it might have been sacrificed ultimately. You do see Zephyr and Soiper running in here, so maybe not. They should be able to deny it at the very least, as they're going to kill off the Ballista right here. So, yeah, oh, God, they're going to be... Okay, yeah, they do get denied. That was actually pretty close. But Flensmeister does get credit for it right there in the end. So, pretty good response overall from Lion Esports Club.
Yeah, we saw Zephyr did realize the fact that he does have to sort of be that tanky boat presence early on, and did pick up his vestments immediately after some of the Black Legion, not even waiting for boots. Just being a better bait across the board.
Wow, yeah, he's still moving fairly slow. You see right there, only 295 movement speed, but we'll eventually get those, of course, and start moving around a little quicker. But yeah, prioritizing where necessary, as you're mentioning. Steam Boost, speaking of boots, just finished on Soul Reaper there in the meantime. He's got the damage of the Exile, as well as his own Mystic Vestment, so he, too, is making sure to be able to deal with this magic damage. Bottom secondary tower, it's at 200 life, so it needs to be at 160, of course, for the deny range. So Keeper doing a good job of making sure not to put in deny range just before. Glacius, in the meantime, might be in some trouble. Leech coming out from Parasite. No face that are going to be used just yet. Doesn't really have the support coming in. In the meantime, Soul Reaper actually getting caught out right here by Pebbles. He is dropping quickly. No more heal to come out, and down falls Soul Reaper. So Parasite was banking on Soul Reaper helping him. Little did they know, though, there was all that support there in the jungle. So well played by Complexity. And now they're going to push this top tower here.
I mean, once again, they don't really have a team that can apply that aggression outside maybe a Zephyr and expect to get out alive. I mean, yeah, it's just pretty easy to kite in. Complexity there was very quick to respond. Pebbles, no bottle yet, so does need to pick up a little bit of a mana booster of swords. He's heading
to the bottom?
He is porting. Yeah. Oh, he's actually porting straight to bottom, so not gonna sort of wait up just to make sure he keeps excellent use of his farm that's made available.
Yeah, wants to keep that up at the very least. Again, knows that as a team right now, Complexity does have some good momentum built up, but he's got the Zephyr to worry about. Moomiander doing a good job of eventually coming back into the bottom lane and taking out that tower that was oh so low. So another good news, portion of news right there for Complexity. Now 4,700 gold top lane. Zephyr's still hanging into the tower. He does have his boots now, by the way. You see the gust. It wasn't actually hit. Doesn't hit Keeper the Force. Keeper the Force root coming out. In comes the Leech from Parasite. He's going to get greased out. The Defensive Shaman Unbreakable. Going to keep him alive. That Typhoon is down by Zephyr. Just not able to do enough damage. Tempest running in, but not nearly enough damage whatsoever from Lion Esports Club right there. Complexity just had the better fight. And they're also, no, the tower's actually still well alive, but Soul Reaper, damn, kind of baiting like crazy right here. See going back in, but
going back in, so knowing they have that protection from the Tempest Elemental Void, they want to try to make something happen here. I really do think they need to back out. I'm not seeing this fight be one that they want to engage in. I mean, they're 5,500 gold down, and you know, Keeper the Forest route. I mean, it is true actually. Keeper the Forest route is down. Maybe that gives them a little bit of confidence, but a ton of spam ability. Keeper the he's moving up there.
I think that's the biggest thing. They knew Pebbles was also pushing bottom. Granted, he is missing now, but he doesn't have a TP still, so. Oh, there's a chain of reactions. That jump out of Keeper the Force. Keeper the Force trying to go for the deny. Will be unsuccessful. There's a kill on that tower. Skyzo going to get the ultimate off. However, Torture will be fine. Skyzo falls while channeling the Elemental Void. And in the end, Torture going to live. Soul Reaper now. He does not have a heal bomb ready. Flensmeister going to be locked down. Nice staggering of stuns there for Complexity. And a double tap for Riser. So Complexity does fight strong in the end. The tower was killed, though, and they did get the initial Keeper kill. the Lions. So at least that is good news for them, of course, even with the end result.
Well, yeah. No, I thought it actually was looking very good there for Lions. I thought they needed to pull back a little bit sooner. I thought it was just a little bit too far. B-Kid wasn't even really there for that, so.
Yeah. Like I said, yeah, no TP, and kind of wondered if that's why Lions went all out as they did. Realizing that information, but in the end, B-Kid was just farming up the bottom lane, and he continues that high GPM of his, 375 gold per minute here. Zephyr, though, on par, just a little under right now, 360 gold per minute. Right now, starting to clean up some jungle camps here. Even got some stacks going on, so well played by Lions as a team to give some advantageous farm to him. That's always necessary.
You actually saw him go, because he's against a lot of this magical damage that we talked about, he actually did go for the steam boots right away here for Zephyr as well, so he's making a point to tank up as much as he can there on maximum health. Survive their initial combo and then turn it around with all of this heal. Send them on the ones on the run, kill them as they're running away.
I just realized this. I was saying Skyzo as Tempest, but Skyzo was not playing Tempest. Skyzo was actually on Parasite. It's FedEx for the win on the Tempest, so just to clarify that. I make a mistake there.
And he played more of that Tempest solo, not a Tempest jungle, for those that are wondering.
Exactly. Top lane, tower easily killed. No vulnerability, nothing. It was already very low, and Complexity just simply took advantage of that. So, will they keep going is the big question, though. Complexity, you got B-Kid leading the way still. He also does have Tralfamador with him on that Torturer. And it looks like at the very least they're going to apply some pressure, because in the meantime, in the middle lane, you do have Lion Esports Club grouping up yet again and making a push themselves. Zephyr tanking the tower as he can. You got a Luna and Glacius running in a Luna with the sun right there. Port is coming in. Typhoon is ready to go. Tempest, no element to avoid. Wants to get that tower kill. The Typhoon put up in the background. Nice deny on the tower. Gust going to be coming out right there. The Root's going to be used as well. Super KG being locked down. Unbreakable's applied. Maybe a little bit too early though. Down goes the Magic Shaman. The Unbreakable will go off, but Zephyr just not tanking enough. He will eventually fall. Parasite taking over the Warlock right there. Trying to run. Flansmeister runs back in with the heal bomb. He can't get that kill though. Tralfamador with a double tap when it's all said and done.
It's not necessarily over yet. Pebbles has a PK, man. He might try to catch it. No.
Man, they went all out on that tower kill. Did not even get it, and Complexity went to fight. That was just well played by Complexity too, though.
Well, it was very well played. And, Keeper of the Forest survived through that initiation again. Once again, got the counter initiation. At that point, they were like, well, we don't have enough damage. They were took out two of our heroes. The excellent, I think it was the a Luna snipe plus was it the Torturer nuke that actually initially cleared them out. Riser got that double tap.
Yeah,
with that snipe, and I believe it was Tralf that was actually applying a lot of the rest of the damage. So
yeah, and then the last fight, it was Tralf definitely did plenty on the Torturer. It started off with the Luna stun.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, the follow-up eventually came, as we saw. So Zephyr felt like he was going to be able to... And a lot of that tension, too, for Lions. I know Tempest especially, I think Zephyr was kind of the same case. Instead of even getting the hero kills and trying to get that fight going, they were so focused on just simply getting that tower kill. And it was even still denied in the end, and that didn't help things either. Obviously, as they use the resources trying to get the tower kills. So.
I mean, the one problem I have is, once again, they don't have... I'm looking right now, they don't have that Astrolabe, they don't have a Bear Idol well in the works yet, so because of something like that, it's like, how are they supposed to take these team fights when they have literally zero form of initiation here? We have Keeper of the Forest plus the Pebbles with that portal key, going to be able to set it up so much easier. Meanwhile, Tralfamador going for that Light Brand as the farming tool, sort of like that Gnome's Wisdom here on Torture, and he doesn't actually have to build it up in anything right away. I mean, he can sort of just save it, use it like that farming tool, like a Gnome's Wisdom, and convert it later on in the game.
I mean, similar to a Firebrand into Geometer's Band. We see that a lot on the carries. They got the Firebrand and
intelligence equivalent. I mean, so Tier 2 Tower being a pressure here. I mean, they've got to know that their lineup, I don't know, it seems like they want to get active, knowing that they can't let it go too long. They don't want those additional protective items like the Shrunken Head Stealth. Nope.
Pebbles up here, man. He's looking for that opportunity. You see Skies are going to try to be annoying with the Vulture Lord, but
tells the double damage, man.
Oh jeez.
He's gonna avoid is up, but Torture. Tempest only has 750. He's in the background.
Defensive Stormcloud coming out there. Jump will be out of Skyzo, actually. Stun comes out of Pebbles. Pebbles will get the kill, but on what cost right here? He's in a horrible spot. Nice chain reactions coming out, though. The heal bomb's coming out, and Pebbles staying alive. Big Rig coming in the Elemental Void. Gonna be canceled. Glacial downpour from behind. Down goes Tempest right there. Zephyr holding his ground. It just won't be enough. The He falls. Reaper goes down. A double tap for Riser. A double tap for Peter Van Dam. A genocide for Complexity, and a series victory for Complexity on top of that. Just like that, 18 minutes in game number 2, just about, and Complexity will take the game and as well as take the series.
That escalated quickly. I think that's why it seemed like they were going to try to pace the game, wait for those defensive items before they take those team fights. But, you know, as soon as that middle fight line, watch out, B-Kid's not all tabbed anymore, Trelf is saying. Oh, God. Yeah, so making a point maybe they feel a little more confident as a team when they are going up in those more the matchups that are slanted against them because of the fact that they did have, in Game 1 against IG, they did have the fact where they did random a hero. In Game 3, they did make that really stupid, well, I'm just going to call it a really stupid drafting decision of picking the Oogie into the Mage Bane.
He's making the point that they're more on the ball with drafting specifically today and just some playing. And it does show, I think, and it showed in that series right there. I mean, yes, Lions did have their mistakes in the end, as it usually happens, especially with the losing team. I mean, even the best of them, it happens. In that game specifically, you were talking about it. It just really seemed like Lions. Zephyr did have a very solid start. I mean, obviously the Tempest situation was a little awkward at the beginning. It eventually kind of worked itself out. They didn't wait though. They just weren't patient enough. The Astral Blade, the working on the burials, even the Shaman Cedrus initially. I mean, they tried to force the issue a little bit too soon, it seemed like, with the lineup that they had. And Complexity did play very well though, again, holding it up.
Once again, looking at though, they had a team that really Parasite wants to gank things, but his team doesn't really allow him to because they're not aggressive lockdown stun heroes on this. So their lineup, I honestly felt like it fit together pretty awkwardly. And all Complexity needed to do was exploit one hole, win one major team fight, and all of a sudden the game would be on their watch. They'd be able to farm faster, make them sort of have to react to it. So yeah, well played by Complexity. Lions, unfortunately, knocked out here, but that's not the end of the road for them, Breaky.
It isn't, and I know why you bring that up, because as we have talked about, there is, again, there's still, I don't believe there's been any information announcement. I personally don't even really know exactly
Right, we
how
have not been given any additional details yet, other than there's supposed to be a...
This Swedish Pride event, I think is what it's being called. So, Lions, they are an all-Swedish team, so you'd figure whatever that event has to do, the winner of that is also going to be going, they're going to be the 8th team going to DreamHack. So, it adds up. The Lions would possibly be able to compete for that again. We're still going to wait for more information to truly determine, but so they very likely are going to have that extra safety net even representing Sweden.
Maybe why they were okay with maybe taking a... Well, Hanskin's probably going to be there for that is my guess.
If that is the case,
yeah,
I hope
probably.
so.
And then maybe that's why they're more okay with taking an earlier concede here. And so instead of fighting to the absolute death in this game, maybe it's because maybe like, oh, we still have one more chance to go. So.
Well, and that's actually a good point, too. I mean, with the Hanskin situation, again, nothing against FedEx for the win at all, of course. You'd hate to put blame on him, but when you have a team, you build that synergy over time, and especially in a big event like this, you got to also wonder, the lack of Hanskin, I think it did kind of show. I mean, he is their drafter, especially.
Exactly. He's their drafter and in-game captain.
Yeah.
I think Super KG is more the captain of the team, and he takes care of a lot of the logistical stuff and and all that, but as far as the in-game stuff goes, that's Hanskin's position. So yeah, missing him definitely takes a huge hit to the team. Super KG seems like he filled in well in order for them to make it this far, but well, that's all she wrote. That was a pretty damn quick series.
It was, especially for where we're at. I can't say I expected that one, but I mean, that does mean, though, looking at another bright side of things, of course, Complexity Gaming, they are not only moving on, they win the series 2-0, but now they're going to get that rematch chance against Internet Gangsters later on today. And I mean, talk about a great matchup, man. So many storylines.
There's a lot to settle with that match. So I think for everyone, that's kind of, if they had to choose a matchup between Complexity or Lions facing off against IG, most people like to see that grudge match, the score settled, so to speak, and what it maybe would have been like if things were different. So now Complexity, they got to learn from their mistakes as well. That's one benefit, but IG got to see a lot of the holes that Complexity presents in their drafting. So both teams have a little bit more experience. It always makes for a more interesting second fight.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun with that matchup. I mean, there are really so many storylines, and we'll definitely talk about that later on as well once that match does approach. Now, with this match finishing so quickly, it does mean, again, I know I would love to get things started sooner than later. I mean, I think everyone's pretty much on the same boat with that. We'll see if we can maybe arrange something to try to get something started a little bit sooner because this did end so quickly. But I can't make any guarantees. You know, I'm not the one that makes the rules in the event or whatever. So we'll see. We'll definitely try to maybe talk with the team, see if we can get started earlier. We'll let you guys know as soon as possible. But however, with that said, the default time though, it is set to start in just under 2 hours from now, actually, about an hour and 45 minutes, if I'm doing my math correctly. 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 21:30 Central European time. So in about an hour and 45 minutes is when it's set to start. Again, we'll try to maybe work it out to get it pushed up a little earlier to get things going here and get that matchup that everyone wants to see. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a break here. At the very least, again, we'll come back with an update. We're going to play videos, though, music as always. Have a nice little break here, but we will eventually have Internet Gangsters taking on Complexity Gaming. It's a straight-up best of 3 as well. That's what I also love about it, being this is the loser bracket finals, just to determine that. There's no advantages or anything like that. I mean, this is a straight-up best of 3 here. That's going to be coming up. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Anything else?
No, I was say it's basically IG's second chance here to qualify.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a lifeline.
That too,
they were in the winners bracket finals. It's essentially their lifeline. So going at it again.
It's going to be fun, man. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Until now, take a little break with us. We will be back, though. We'll give you guys updates at the very least. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter for that, especially. Even the Twitch TV chat will be sure to update you, even on stream as well. We'll definitely come on and let you guys know what actually is going to be happening. But sit tight. Eventually tune back in. We got Internet Gangsters versus Complexity later on. It's going to be a blast, man. Tune in for that.
Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog with a